I thought it was cool that Hellcat was starting up a promotion because he trained me. He's one of the guys that trained me. So at that point, I started out with NWA in the late 90s, and they went defunct in 2002. And so there's a little while there where we didn't have a place to train or, like a home promotion. Mm-hmm. So Ian Decay actually was starting Rochester Pro Wrestling at the time. So Dunn and I were training with him. I didn't even know Mike was doing the stuff out of his garage.
I was supposed to go partnership with Ian Decay at the time. And we were supposed to go shopping for a place to do a school, maybe run shows. Then out of nowhere, he gives me a call and says, yeah, I got a place, it's all set up. So I go over to the place, check it out, and wow. I mean, it was somewhere deep in the hood, in the back of like a warehouse.
And it was actually my cousin that knew Ian and got me to go to the show. A couple weeks later, he said, hey, that guy Ian's opening up a school, which was out on Portland Avenue in the warehouse, where whoever trained there's probably going to end up with lung cancer from the stuff that was floating in the air.
Went home and was like, you know what, I'm just going to do this on my own. I don't know how, I don't know when. So ended up knowing a guy who his dad dealt in realty, and there was this garage over in the city. He's like, oh man, go ahead, you guys go over there and use that. There's nothing going on in it. It was like a 3-car garage, so we threw a ring in, set it up, and we used to do shows for neighborhood kids for $2 a person. I mean, it was ridiculous. We had no seating really, just a ring and just kids from the neighborhood sitting everywhere watching us do what we do. And it was quite the experience. I mean, we started from the bottom, that's for sure.
At the beginning of the garage stage, I was leaving a place called Rock City Wrestling, and it wasn't a place where you could learn. And my beginning experiences here, where I knew of Hellcat from the NWA days, and I wanted him to be my trainer. His style mirrors what I wanted to become. So I was ecstatic about getting around those guys, and it seemed like a friendlier atmosphere, more of a brotherhood, I should say.
We did a show, our first show, away from like the schools and stuff. We went out towards, I believe, Hamlin or something like that. I don't know. First show I ever ran, got the venue, showed up the day for the show, went to bring the first ring post in, and wouldn't you know it, the ceilings are too goddamn small. Didn't know what to do. Luckily, they had a huge parking lot. So we pulled the truck, unloaded the ring outside in the parking lot, parked the truck so nobody could see the ring. Cops show up, want to know what we're doing. We tell them what we're doing, and really that was the first, major show we did out of, doing, simple shows out of a school.
I think the local core of guys pushed it, really pushed it at first with Dunn and I, and then you had like Brody was just coming up at the time, but he was, they were getting a lot better real quick. Colin and Jimmy were. When they first started out, obviously there was a learning curve, but they came along pretty quick. So I think we had a really strong core of local guys for quite a while here, which is I think helped push us.
And NWA place used to run in Webster called the Ukrainian Club. We did our first show there, packed the place. It was ridiculous, like over 500 people in the small little bingo / hall, whatever you want to call it. Fire marshal showed up, was going to shut us down. I'm stalling in the back. They're trying to shut us down. I'm just like, if I can keep stalling, we can get this show done. And before fire marshal tells everyone to get out, because we're beyond capacity. And then the stupid Ukrainian club puts a boiler or something in the hallway in the back, and they're flipping out. Fire marshal, is just complaining the whole time. And I'm just buying time. So just so we can get the show done. We got 500 people our first show, and the fire marshal wants to shut us down. So stalled long enough, the show got over with, we got done. Thought we were gonna have a great time there, running shows, and then they sold it to Walmart next month. Yep, they sold it, knocked it down, and it's still to this day, Walmart's done nothing with that empty spot. No parking lot, no nothing, it just sits there. Just an empty piece of land that the Ukrainian club used to be. Yeah, 10 years. When I first started this company in the garage, I said, I'm gonna run it 10 years and I'm gonna get out. I mean, to be honest, not too many independent wrestling companies can last 5 years, 7 years, if you're lucky. We're on number 10. Now I know I gotta make the decision if I'm gonna call it quits, I said after 10 years, if I could make it last 10 years, I thought I would have accomplished what I needed to accomplish and get out. But I don't think so. I see another 10 years coming.